Hello and welcome to another video. So, since I'm taking a break from battles while the Ultra League and Catch Cup is going on, Catch Cup might be Great League, but I don't want to waste my dust. I thought I'd do a video which, granted, other content creators have done in the past, especially early on when Elite TMs became a thing. Which Community Day Pokemon I would recommend or not recommend to Elite TM. I will do a separate video for Legacy Pokemon in terms they didn't have a Community Day, but they have Legacy moves, unless they already had a Community Day, which in this case I will include it in this video as well. This will be a series of videos. Each part will be representing a different year, so this will be 5 parts in total, as our first year is 2018, and obviously we're in the current year 2022. And other than a couple exceptions, like with the Eevees, in terms of how I will go about in the usual format, Eevee will be a bit different, but otherwise, hopefully I'm trying to keep this consistent. So, thank you for your patience, and let's get right to it. So, yeah, just, ground rules. If you have the patience to hold off till another event, I would try to do that, as Elite TMs are rare. In fact, I discovered recently while making this that, there is no Community Day box for the Dino Community Day that's coming up. So, yeah, they're rare. Thankfully, I've stockpiled mine up pretty well. But my rating, this is just a general guideline. Now, granted, this is subjective, so these are my own views, okay? These do not represent any other content creators. If it's a 1 to 3, definitely speaking, don't use it. I mean, obviously a 3 would be like a higher priority if you wanted to use 1 on it versus a 1. 4 to 7 has play in certain matchups, or spice to some extent. 8 to 10, definitely worth it, unless you know an event for said mon is coming up where you can get the mood, but definitely prioritize, 8 and above over the rest. So the first one we ever had was Pikachu with the move Surf. Is it meta relevant? Absolutely not. The Libre and Rockstar Pikachus, if I remember the correct costume, are better for Little Cup purposes. Flying Press and Meteor Mash just provide so much more coverage for them. So, yeah, for regular Pikachu, Surf, absolutely not. Do not... you would need an Elite Charge TM, but don't use it. It's a 1. Just don't. For the love of all those holy don't. And even then, Pikachu really can't be used in Great League that much, at least not a non-Libre one, so it's for Little Cups only. Next we have is, pardon the blurry pictures, is Dratini, which evolves into Dragonite, and you get Draco Meteor if you evolve it. Is it meta relevant? Yes, it is overall. The CD move, Community meaning, is not mandatory. It is definitely spiciest in the Great League. You'll need an Elite Charge TM. I do it as a 6.5, as Draco Meteor is spicy. It's definitely a surprise factor, but definitely in Master League, you're going to want Hurricane for that coverage, especially if you have no choice but to be lined against something like a Togekiss. So, yeah. Next we have is Bulbasaur, which into Venusaur, it gets Frenzy Plant. Again, need an Elite Charge TM. Is it meta relevant? Yes, both in Great League and Ultra League. Though for Ultra League, note, it's more for the Ultra League Premier Classic than Open, but it has some niche play, at the very least, in the Open. Rating 9.5. The 0.5s is just my opinion again. Reason why I say 9.5 is it's kind of similar. If it was totally relevant and open, I would definitely probably rate that a 10. Definitely a 10 in Ultra League Premier Classic, but not so much in open. So, but if you need one, definitely recommend you think about using an Elite Charge team on this one, unless, again, an event is coming up. Next we have is Mareep to Ampharos. So, Ampharos' primary play is in the Ultra League Premier Classic, but with this Community move with Dragon Pulse, it does have some niche play in the open. I definitely recommend Shadow, though, for the open, just because, Dragon Pulse is the weakest of its 3 nuke-ish moves, and that Shadow damage does provide that little extra oomph it needs to hold its own. So, rating is 5. It's definitely spiced in the middle. All 3 nuke moves of Zap Cannon, Dragon Pulse, and Focus Blast, again, as I said before, have play, depending on your team comp, meaning composition. I will note, though, that if you have a Hundo, Dragon Pulse will benefit from its Mega Evolution, as Ampharos, when Mega Evolved, gets the Dragon sub-typing along with keeping with its Electric typing, so that is important to note. So here's the first example of one that has both Community Day and Legacy moves that aren't Community Day related. It is Charmander to Charizard. It has had 2 different communities, each with a different move, along with the Legacy move. Is it meta relevant? Yes. Not necessarily top tier, but most of its movesets involving one of the community moves has play. Its first one had Blast Burn. Its second community had Dragon Breath. It also knows Wing Attack, which is the legacy move I was kind of referring to. You need one of each Elite TM. Obviously, with fast attacks, you can only get one, so just you're gonna want to choose wisely unless you can build multiple. Rating for Blast Burn, definitely a 10. It absolutely needs Blast Burn. Dragon Breath is definitely an 8. I in many cases it is better than Fire Spin depending on the meta and team comp. Wing Attack is a 7. 7, 6. It's definitely the spiciest of the three. I've usually seen it in theme cups, mainly the Love Cup. Some have used it in Ultra League, which granted, if you know you're seeing a lot of fighters, then that is reason to think about using your Wing Attack Charizard. But Charizard is definitely a strong pick, and its 2 Megas definitely help it out in the Master League, so that's why a lot are running Dragon Breath for their Master League, as, Charizard Y doesn't get the stab, but it does get a higher CP value than the Mega Charizard X, or at least that gets the stab with Dragon Breath. Next one we have is Larvitar to Tyranitar. So, meta relevant, mostly in Master League, yes-ish. It does have play in the right scenario, especially if you want to do beatdown in like the lower leagues. So its community move with Smackdown, which it needs an elite fast TM. I give it a 7 as I would recommend having one of each, one with Smackdown, one with Bite. Smackdown has play against flyers like Togekiss. Bite will tear through something like a Giratina, so like if I'm doing a Ghost Raid or Team Rocket guy with Ghost, then like Bite is the way to go. So yeah. Next we have a Squirtle to Blastoise. Its move was Hydro Cannon, which for most water starters, I think all of them actually at this point, yeah, have had Hydro Cannon. Yes, it's in Great League. It is definitely on the spicier side. Less spicy in Great League, but definitely spicy in Ultra League. You will want XL for Open Ultra League. Obviously, if it's Ultra League Premier Classic, you don't want XL. And then I give it a 7. It definitely needs the move to be its best, and it has more play in limited formats. Alright, so here are the Eevees. Give me a second, I've got to pull out my phone so I can get my picture that I took. So, there's a lot of moves here with the Eevee, since it's got 8 different evolutions. In fact, the 2 I will definitely recommend to use an Elite TM on. For Umbreon, it can either learn... you definitely want Snarl. Then for the first move, either Foul Play or Dark Pulse, which aren't moves. Then for its legacy moves, it's a choice between Last Resort and Psychic. Psychic has niche play, whereas Last Resort is needed. That way, Umbreon can hit something for neutral damage. At the very least, it can handle other Dark types, at least until the Hisuian, assuming all the Hisuian Pokemon come to Pokemon Go, which in that case, if memory serves, then, Last Resort won't be too much use on the Zoroark and Zoro because it'll be normal ghost typing, but Dark Pulse or Foul Play will thankfully hit for some super effective damage. On the other one, it's definitely going to be Sylveon. You're definitely going to want Psyshock, not Psychic, over Last Resort. Again, anything that isn't a normal type has at least some super effective coverage, but obviously you're getting some ineffective damage too, but even then, Last Resort does not do super effective damage. So definitely want Psyshock. For Umbreon, back to that. Rating, I would definitely give it a 10 for Last Resort, and then I'd say a 7 for the Psychic for Sylveon. Definitely a 9 for the Psyshock, and I'm not even going to bother with Last Resort. The rest of them, let's see. Oh, Leafeon, definitely a 7 for it learns Bullet Seed as one of its community moves, which is a fast TM, elite fast TM. Definitely want it over Quick Attack, so I recommend that. And then the rest of the moves, whether it's Leafeon or the others that I haven't mentioned already, it's either the same typing as its own typing for the moves, Last Resort, and then maybe one coverage move, like Espeon with Shadow Ball. So the ones I focus on are really just Sylveon and Umbreon. Even Glaceon is playing Master League, but they don't even recommend Water Pulse. So yeah, just Umbreon and Sylveon here, okay? Alrighty. Next we have Meganium. Chikorita and Meganium. It definitely has played in Open Great League still, though it's not as top tier meta as it once was, as the meta has evolved and more mons have come into the fray. Frenzy Plant is the move. It's a grass starter. I give it a 9. Needs the move, no question. Just isn't top tier, as I already said. But definitely has bulk, and as long as you can keep it away from a flyer, that doesn't take super effective damage, or doesn't at least take neutral damage from glass, then you got some serious play with Meganium. Next we have is Beldum to Metagross. Meta relevant, yes, in Master League, all formats, Premier Classic. I mean, like every Master League format there is, it's got relevance. So unless it bans it, it's good. Community Day, Meteor Mash, you need an Elite Charge TM. 10 out of 10 for the rating. Do it. It is needed. I was lucky enough that since I don't do Master League though regularly, I was patient enough to wait till an event to evolve it. So if you don't do Master League, then definitely wait. You know, like I said before, wait if you can, but definitely if you're looking to do Master League, this is a 10 out of 10. You will not regret it. For the final one, I didn't mention the year, at least directly. I inferred it. This is for 2018. The final one for the year is going to be Cinderquilt to Typhlosion. So its most meta relevance is in Ultra League Premier Classic. Its move is Blast Burn, which you will need an Elite Charge TM. I gave it a 7.5 as outside of the ULPC, it leans more Spice, even if running Shadow Claw, which definitely helps against Giratina as an open Ultra League. But yeah, the thing is, it's just, you got Shadow Claw, which provides better coverage, but Incinerate still generates energy pretty well. It's just a long, fast move animation, so it really just depends on your team comp that you want. Have one, but again, don't stress out about getting one right away. I waited till I could evolve for an event. So yeah, that's it for 2018. That's part 1 of this series of videos. Hopefully I can get a better form going in the later parts, but thank you all so much for watching, and I will love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in part 2.